I'm a rubbish reader. I can read well, but I find it quite boring, and when I was growing up we never had books in our house. So the only type of book that I've ever been interested in is autobiographies, and I've read a lot of those basically because I'm really nosy. The only book that springs to mind that I really enjoyed was a book which is for grown-ups called Don't Ever Tell by Cathy O'Byrne. And the reason that I absolutely loved that book is it was about a lady born in the workhouse, and my mum was born in the workhouse in Liverpool, and it tells how she was brought up by nuns. It's a very, very sad story, and it's a true story, and she is buried in a cemetery in Dublin, but it really made me cry. So for a book to make me cry when I'm really disinterested in books, I would recommend it to anyone.
My recommended read for Key Stage 4 students would be Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. It's my absolute favourite book of all time. I've read it about 6 or 7 times since I was 15. And I think when I first read it when I was 15, I could really identify with the main character, Colden Hallfield. It's about his struggle with modern life, I suppose, and particularly against adults and the phonies that he sees around him in his life. And if there's one book I would recommend any teenager to read, it would be J.D. Salinger's Catcher in the Rye.
My favourite book is Matilda by Roald Dahl. It's about a supportive and caring relationship between the young girl Matilda and her teacher. You might like this book because it has magic in it, has lots of suspense, and throughout the book there's plenty of humour. In this book there's lots of new and exciting words that you can learn and that you might like to use.
One of my favourite books has got to be Bridget Jones' Diary. Written by Helen Fielding in a diary format, it covers the life of a 30-something working woman. I particularly love the email messages that bounce back between her and her boss Daniel, and the way she recorded her vices, who for anyone who has ever been on any sort of health kick must strike a chord. It was later made into a film which was quite true to the book and again really enjoyable. I think one of the main reasons I enjoyed this book so much was the fact that I read it on holiday, completely relaxed, and always associate this book and holiday together.
My favourite book is Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. I like this book because of where it's set, the time it's set, and it shows just how good people can be, even though in the end it is very sad. The relationship that forms between the two main characters shows that what people can aspire to and what they can achieve when they come together. The willingness to look after each other and care for each other, which is a good message that should be passed on.
Hiya, one of my favourite books is To Kill a Mockingbird, and the author of that is Harper Lee, which is a woman actually, because Harper can be a boy's name as well. And that was a book that I read at school. Now, I did English literature for GCSE and A-level, but why this book particularly sticks in my mind is it's looking at the portrayal of racism through a young girl's eyes, and it brings all the issues from the 1930s and what was happening in the Deep South at that time. It's also got in a black and white film, which is very good as well if anyone wants to catch up with that as well. So Scarf Finch lives with her father, and her father's a lawyer, and it's based around a courtroom scene where Boo Radley, who's a man who everyone's kind of scared of, has been accused of something that he did not do. So I won't tell you any more than that. All I want you to do is read it. It's an excellent book, and as I say, it still sticks with me today. Thank you very much.
Hello all you lovely book readers, I am a book fan and my favourite is Tom Slemon, and it is Haunted Liverpool with lots of scary stories about olden times, modern times and general info about Liverpool. I enjoy it, hope you do too.
Go. I love reading, and my favourite author is Martina Cowell, and the reason I like them is because a lot of them are about crime and the way some people get mixed up in drugs, and the ending's always really good. They always solve the crime, and I find them really gripping. Once you've read the first couple of pages, you just want to go on and carry on reading until you finish it.
Okay, my favourite book is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. It's probably the original doomed romance. So if you're into like Twilight and things like that, you need to get back to where it originally started. Heathcliff and Cathy's relationship is full of detail. It's shocking, it's traumatic. I've cried every single time I've ever read it. I've been to the museum in Haworth and I have 9 editions of the same book because every time I go back I have to buy another one.
Hey Halewood, just a quick one. I just want to talk to you regarding my favourite novel. I just want to let you know that it's undoubtedly the Deathly Hallows because I've always loved Harry Potter for a variety of reasons. The first is that I fell in love with the plot immediately. Harry's world is, I feel, somewhat representative of life, yet in a fantasy setting, and is therefore relatable. J.K. Rowling's use of descriptive language and imagery is, in my opinion, compelling, and this particular novel, The Deathly Hallows, is, in my opinion, perfect and is a fabulous end to a wonderful sequence of stories.